whispers and the apple of his eye. But the whispers were that another man was nibbling on that apple, namely Charlie Chaplin. So, two powerful men and a beautiful woman, mixed with jealousy, lust, and hate, were the perfect ingredients for an explosion of violence. But then, how did it come about that Thomas Ince was the one who suddenly stopped breathing? The official cause of death, reported in the Hearst newspapers, was acute indigestion, followed by a heart attack. But according to Charlie Chaplin's secretary, who witnessed Ince being carried off the yacht, there was a bullet hole in his head. He was immediately cremated, and without the body there was no evidence to contest the heart attack story. It didn't take long for the gossip and rumors to reach the ears of the authorities. The San Diego District Attorney launched an investigation, the sum total of which was the testimony of only one man, a Hearst employee, a Dr. Daniel Goodman. He claimed that Ince had suffered chest pains on the train on their way down from Los Angeles to San Diego, where Ince joined the yacht Party in Progress. He also said that Ince complained that he had had similar attacks before. It was enough for the DA, who considered the case closed. But that didn't stop the rumors. The rumors were saying murder and cover-up. They were saying that Hearst himself was the one who shot Ince, and it was no secret that he kept a gun on board. The favored scenario among skeptics was that Hearst had heard gossip saying that his darling Marion and Charlie were doing the hanky-pank together, so he had invited Charlie along just so he could spy on them and see for himself. And see for himself he did. Marion screamed and Hearst ran off to get his gun. Marion's scream had brought Ince running to see what was happening. He struggled with Hearst for the gun and was thanked for his effort to prevent bloodshed by getting a bullet in his brain. Most people believe that Parsons had witnessed the shooting, and that it was no coincidence that shortly after the incident, she signed a lifetime contract with Hearst and became the most powerful gossip columnist in Hollywood history. So whatever happened, and however it happened, Charlie Chaplin and Marion Davies were never seen together again. And Charlie faded from the picture. And life went on, as always, in Tinseltown, for everyone except Thomas Ince. Thelma Todd is another mysterious case. She was a popular actress in the 20s and 30s, appearing in over 40 movies, often as the leading lady in the Marx Brothers and Laurel and Hardy movies. On December 16, 1935, she was found dead in her car, in her garage, dead from carbon monoxide poisoning. She was wearing a mauve and silver evening gown, a mink wrap, and a fortune in jewelry. She had been at a lavish party in her honor at the Trocadero nightclub on Sunset Boulevard. She had come home in the early morning hours. Suicide, according to the police and the coroner. But many believed then, as they do today, that Thelma Todd's death was not a suicide nor an accident, but that she was murdered. The garage was at the top of this long flight of steps, which Thelma either climbed up or was carried up on the last night of her life. She lived with, but was not married to, ex-film director-producer Roland West. Together they owned this place, which at the time was a successful restaurant called Thelma Todd's Sidewalk Cafe. It became a hangout for Hollywood's rich and famous, and also for some unsavory types from the underworld, such as Lucky Luciano. This notorious gangster wanted Thelma to turn part of her cafe into a secret gambling casino. He made her an offer, which she thought she could refuse. So after coming home from the party, about 3:45 in the morning, Thelma's chauffeur offered to walk her up to her door, but she declined, and that was the last time she was seen alive. Why do some think that murder was more likely than suicide? because Lucky Luciano hated the word no, and because blood was found inside the car and on her. And those close to her said that she was in good spirits and had big plans for the future. Perhaps we'll never know, but Thelma Todd will most likely be remembered not so much for her movies, but for the mysterious circumstances surrounding her death. She was 30 years old. On a cold January morning in Los Angeles, 1947, a woman and her 3-year-old daughter made a shocking discovery in this vacant lot. Close to the sidewalk lay the grisly remains of a young woman, naked and severed completely in half at the waist.